one other thing I want to do, will you stand up and listen? If you're not following Melissa, it's Honeybee. H-O, like the number O, 0.
She's taking great notes, by the way.
The letter B. If you're not following this young lady, you're missing out on one of the funnest people to follow in the world.
And she takes great notes, by the way.
She takes notes. She's an artist. And she didn't pay me to give her
Funny
this
artist.
spotlight, but her website is great. Her blog site. So, just wanted to mention.
What is it again? Honeybee?
H-O, yeah, honey, the letter B, but the O is a 0, not a O. Honeybee.
If you do Honeybee, it comes up to this porn star. It's the one with the 0.
It's actually my health account.
Okay, so we'll just open up to questions. If you need to leave, feel free to leave, and we're okay here for another 20 minutes or so at least, and then thank you all so much for being here. We appreciate it.
So you were talking about like having this Twitter blog issue. Do any of you think that you're going to not blog eventually, and that Twitter will like take over this communication method? It's obviously changed. Has it changed how you blog?
Personally, I'll start. Personally, I don't think so. You can't. There's only so many things you can get in 140 characters. I do think that Twitter is changing the way we're finding information to an extent. Through means like Twitter, and there are other services out there, we're now learning about things from the source as they're happening. Things like the Mumbai attacks that were mentioned. I was following a tornado in Plano, Texas. People hunkering down in the bathtubs, twittering, while trying to get away from the tornado, literally. No longer the way we're getting news is changing, and I think that's being affected. But there's still a need to get it out in more than 140 characters. There are things that we need to explain. The same reason we're having this meeting here is because we can't get it out in 140 characters. Not without you going in head first, which is one way to learn. But yeah.
Yeah, I would second that as well. You can't get it all in 140 characters. Twitter's a great way to promote your blog posts as you write them. Furthermore, when it comes down to it, there were a lot of blog posts I think written in the early days that were rushed, opinions and things that happened that maybe won't happen in full form in the future, maybe as much, because Twitter's more of an outlet very quickly. You get it off your chest and you're done. And hopefully, I don't know if this will happen, but I hope that blog posts will become maybe a little more valuable, a little bit well thought out. Not that some aren't, some very much so are and have been from the beginning. Mine have not always been so much. So my thought is, if I'm going to take the time to write a post, I'm going to think through it. I'm going to make sure that there's the information and the audience and everything in mind. Janet will probably hate to hear this, but I mean, I sometimes blogging is just getting stuff out as quickly as possible rather than considering the audience and considering the media and including all of the pieces to teach or lead that audience. So I think there's going to be an extension still with a blog, personally as well.
I'm actually blogging more since Twitter, personally.
Yeah, I blog less.
To me, also, Twitter's opened up the door for more blogging. It gives me more to write about. Like I can search, like Ashbuckle said, I can search for certain things that I want to talk about and get opinions from people that I respect.
Exactly.
People that, I can ask a specific question about, what do you think about, tags versus categories, and I can get a lot of responses. Then I can form an entire blog post on the responses I got via Twitter.
That actually is really valuable to me too, because the people that aren't following you, they're not getting the answer to your question. You ask that question out, and then if you get valuable answers, you don't have anywhere to share. You can't share them in 140 characters. So that's when I take what I learned on Twitter and the answers I got. If they're good quality, then I'm like, this is a blog post, and I write that really quick. But again, I don't have the patience as much to sit down and write I'm just using what people have given me. I hate the blog posts that are just bullet points that are like the tweets and that's it. But I do like the ones that take information that you get in real time and answers you get and make it into a post. That's interesting.
I have one other thing. I do surveys on Twitter, like asking questions, and I'm keeping the responses and turning them into blog posts.
You should use social too for that, by the way.
I should. It's a plug. Yeah. I mean, it's fun to when a new person follows you, I ask them, how'd you follow me? Why'd you follow me? Try to get as much information as I can from them, and say, you'll be on a blog post eventually, so give me something good.
People have less patience. Their sites are competing for their time more than ever. Blogs are definitely going to change. I mean, the success of Twitter proves that people want it simple, they want it easy, they want it just tidbits to be able to digest. Blogs will still exist, but I think they're going to be a lot shorter posts. Like, that's just the way it's going to be.
I think it's actually contributing to more lengthy posts, more thought out posts, as others are saying. It depends on what type of blog you're talking about, though. I mean, I break a lot of news on some of the blogs I write on, and for me, Twitter's a great tool to throw something out there, just a little hint out there to find out, has this been broken yet? And Twitter provides a unique focus group in that way, and that you can find out from your potential readers what their response is going to be. Are they going to say, "Oh, you're an idiot. This was posted way a long time ago. Everyone knows that," or are they going to say, "Oh, that's interesting," and it's a great way to get to figure out what to write about and what people are going to like.
So, is your company Zinch, right?
Yep.
Are you guys using Twitter to market?
We are.
Success?
Yeah, so we were using, the handle JoJo Zinch because somebody stole Zinch. Squatters hate squatters. Anyway, so we finally got it actually a couple days ago. And so we were using JoJo Zinch to a certain extent, but while we had it, we didn't feel like it was most valuable. So we just had all of our, management team get on Twitter, and, we were evangelists, so we weren't, we were representatives of Zinch, but we weren't using the handle Zinch. So now we're going to start using more the handle @Zinch to deal with customers' concerns, reach out to students, etc.
And you think that'll be better than having 10 different people in your company?
Well, we're still going to do that. Like, we're going to do both. I mean, we're definitely going to do both. It's just one example. So Boxy, some of you might have heard of it, is a new kind of social media center, and they're doing a great example of this. You have to get private invites. So I said, @Boxy, give me a private invite. Got one. Downloaded it. I went to the site, was going to download everything, and it was only for Mac. Well, I'm a Windows person, so I couldn't get it. I was like, dude, @Boxy, why don't you make a Mac or a Windows version? He said it's coming out in a couple weeks. He's going to hook me up with the pre-alpha. I mean, so there's, Comcast, Zappos. There's so many great companies out there that is really working well with the customers and finding new customers through it. So, I mean, it can definitely happen. So
I have a question. What do you? I don't know if the correct term is like Twitterati but there are people that are so passionate about something supposed to happen a certain way. I mean, it happened with search. I mean, when Google first introduced, paid search, it was blasphemous, and I mean, different things, and it happened with blogging, and I mean, just your take on where are we with Twitter, right now, and then as somebody, that's looking to get into Twitter or use Twitter, what's your advice on as far as the right and the wrong way to use Twitter as it is today, and then how does that evolve, and kind of how do you reconcile that in your own head with what you do?
I'll go first.